Hello viewers, you're welcome to TM Graphics. Today we shall be designing an infographic template like the one we have on our screen. Without wasting much time, let's get started. So the first thing is I'll be making use of my rectangle tool. Okay, so I've selected the rectangle tool. Then I'll be able to draw a rectangle this way. Okay, so I want to increase the pixel of this rectangle. So I'll come to this part. Then let me increase it to 16. Okay, I think I'm okay with this. So let me do this. Let me reduce the size of this. The size of this our sample. Put it here. Let's see. I'll bring it to this part. This here. Okay. Right. So I want to rotate this shape. So how do I do that? I'll just double click on it. 1, 2. Now come to this edge. And I'll rotate. Circle. Right. So I want to work on the width of this shape. This I want to work on this part alone. So the horizontal size, that is the breadth of it. So I'll just come to this part like this. I'll hold down my shift key and I'll drag in. Hold down my shift key, drag in. Okay, that's that about that. So the next thing is I want to duplicate this particular shape. I want to duplicate this shape. So how do I do that? I'll just click on it. I'll left click on it. I'll drag like this and I'll right click. So I've gotten the duplicate. Let me repeat that one more time. I will left click on it, hold down my control key, drag and right click. So that is how to get a duplicate of any shape. Left click on that particular shape, hold down your control key, drag and right click. That is that about that. So the next thing is I want to link this part to this part and also do the same to this part as well, right? So I'll come to my freehand tool, then I'll have to draw a line like this, increase the thickness of that line to 16 as well. Let me 16. Okay, so that is that about that. Then I'll add this line to this part. So I'll just click on this line. I'll bring it to this part. Okay, I'll leave it there. I'll also take this line, hold down my control key. I'll bring it to this part as well. And I will right click. So we'll have that there. So that is that about that. So the next thing is I want to make use of my smart fill tool to give a layer to this part, this part, this part, and this part here, right? So how do we do that? Just click on your smart fill tool. Then I want to change the color. We have it to be white, so we are changing it to another color. So let me use this color here. So I'll give this part color, this part, and this part. That is that about that. So the next thing is I don't need these guys anymore, this line. I don't need it anymore, so I need to delete this, right? And this as well. So let me delete this first. This inner shape. I'll right click on it. I'll come to delete. And I'll take it off. So this as well. This and this. I don't need this. Right click on it. Delete. I don't need this as well. Right click on it. and I will delete. So the next thing is I want to merge these three together so that we don't have this line there. So how do I do that? I will just click on this one, then hold down my shift key, select and select. Is that simple? Let me do that one more time. Okay. For me to select, to multi-select all these layers, I'll have to hold down my shift key. So I'll click on this. I'm still holding down my shift key. I click on this and I click on this finally, right? So I'll now come to this part here and I'll click on word. Can you see? The three layers have been wedded together. So now I want to work on this part so I can have this inner shape, right? So how do we do that? Just click on this, then Control C, that is to copy. Control C is to copy, then Control V to paste. So as it is now, I have a duplicate of this shape, right? So this is the duplicate. Let me move it out. Can you see? This is duplicate. I Control C to copy and I Control V to what? To paste. Let me take it back in Control Z, right? So the next thing is I want to reduce the size of that duplicate so that it stays within the original shape and it will align with the original shape, right? So how do I do that? I'll just hold down my shift key, come to this part, then drag in. Can you see that? I'll drag it in and I'll drop. That is how to do that. Now the next thing is I need to create an arrow just like we have here. This arrow, I need to create it. So how do I do that? I'll come to my freehand tool and I will draw a line this way. Okay, drop another line. Then I want to increase the pixel of this line, this particular one I've drawn. So I want to increase it to 16 as well. Okay, so I want a duplicate of this line here. I have to draw down. I'll just copy this, right? So how do I do that? I'll hold down my control key, drag, and what? And right click. Can you see? We have a duplicate of that. So let me adjust this a bit. Before I do that, let me adjust this a bit. Bring this closer a bit. Okay. I think it's better this way, but I don't want it to use this big. I want to increase and reduce this thing. So I think it's okay this way. So I can select this, put on my shift key, and I'll select this as well. Then I will Control G. I'll group it together. That is what Control G is meant for, to group two entity to make it one entity, right? Okay. So can you see? They are grouped together. Okay. Now I want to work. Can you see? They are grouped together. They are grouped together. So I want to work on the arrowhead, right? So I'll just come to my rectangle tool and I will draw a small rectangle like this. Okay. So I want to rotate this guy. Okay. And I want to work on the edges. I want it to be a curve edges. I don't want these sharp edges, right? So how do I do that? I'll just click on shape tool, then I'll come to one of the edges and I'll drag it in. So it automatically has an effect on the other part, right? So I think I've bent that in enough. I want to increase the pixel of that shape to 16 as well. Okay, I'm good to go. So I can now bring this in this part. I bring it into this part. Let me rotate it properly. So I'm trying to take this class as slow as possible so that every one of us can get it right. So the next thing is I want to make use of my freehand tool to create a line across this shape here, right? So I'll just click on this and I will make a line, a vertical line this time around, straight vertical line. Let me increase the pixel to 16 as well. So this line is not at the center of this shape, right? So I must make sure I put it at the center. So that means this shape is not properly rotated. Okay, there's something missing. I need to adjust this line such that it stays at the center. I can take this back a bit. Fine. This is preferable, right? So the next thing is I want to create a layer across these shapes that I'm joining together so that we can have a perfect arrow, right? So I'll just come to my smart view tool and I'll create a layer. No, sorry for that. I selected the wrong tool. So this is the smart view tool. I'll create layer for each one of these parts. But I want to use another color entirely. So let me use this color. Okay, this part, this part, this part, and this part. That is that about that. I want to create a layer on this other part too, but we're using a different color, right? I don't want to use this color. So let me change the color. I'll come to this place. Okay. Let me click on my freehand tool again. Let me change the color to the color I prefer. Okay. I want to use this, right? I want to use this color. So I created a part on that side, a layer here too, and a layer at this part too. I think we are good to go with that. So now I want to work on this arrow to have a perfect arrow, right? So I will be deleting this. I will be deleting this as well. So let me delete this first. I'll right click on it, delete. I'll right click on this as well. I'll right click, delete. So also what else I'll delete it. We don't need this part as well. So I'll click on this part. I'll right click. No, that's not selected properly. Once I click on it like this, you can right click on it and you come to delete. So we have successfully deleted that part too. So now I don't want this line that is appearing on this arrow. I want it to be a single layer, a single entity. So we're having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. So I want it to be a single entity. So how do I do that? I'll just hold down my shift key and I'll select all those parts. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Let me do that again. Select this and this and this and this part and this part. Now I'll come to this part here and I will click on word. So we have a single entity. Can you see we don't have this line here again, right? So that is that about that. But I don't want this line as well. So how do I do that? I want this arrow to come from within. So I don't want this line there. So how do I do that? I'll just hold down my shift key. I'll select this part, select this part, and select this part. So I'll also wed those parts together. Can you see? That is perfect. So now we want to work on this shape so that it can look more realistic, right? So the next thing is I want to give this part a color. This inner part, I want to give it a color, right? So, and I also want to change the color of this part. So let me look for a color. I think this was the color we used at this part. This is the color we use. So I'll click on that. Okay. I think that is that's cool. So I prefer this color. This color is nice. So I want to work on the inner part, right? So I'll click on that part. Then I will pick a color at this part. Then I can now work on the opacity of that color. But instead of me picking a color here, I want to quickly make use of a tool that is so important in graphics design. So that tool is called Eyedropper. So instead of me looking for color and picking color from this part, I can also I can easily pick this color here without even going to this color. So I can duplicate this color in here. So how do I do that? I'll just I'll click on my color eyedropper tool and I'll pick the color I want. I'll bring it to this part and I'll click on it. Can you see? With the use of the eyedropper tool, I've been able to do that, right? Instead of me going to this place to select color. So when you have a color that you intend to use and you like, okay, I don't want to start working on the opacity or anything, you can pick that color using the eyedropper tool. So when you pick that color, you have exactly the color you intend having, right? So I want to work on the opacity of this color. I want it to be like this exactly. So I want it to be as dark as this, right? So now that I've selected it, I've used the eyedropper. I have a color here, so I can select this, right? So you just press the short key Shift F11, and this pops up this way. Then you can go to our model. Click on your model. So here you can then choose the intensity of that color. So in my own case, since I want to make it dark, can you see? So this is what I've chosen now. So I just click on OK. So that has automatically affected on that part I selected, right? I want to work on where we work on. So we want to actually work on this part. So we can give this part different color. So how do I do that? I will select my freehand tool. But before I do that, excuse me, I want to make use of my zoom tool. So I want to zoom this part because I'm about to work on this part now. So I need to zoom this part. Okay. Okay, I think I'm okay with this. So now I can pick my freehand tool and have a line across this part. Okay. I want to have a perfect line across this part. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. So I can increase the thickness of that line to 8. Okay. So the next thing is I want to work on this part, right? I'll give this a layer and I'll give this part another layer, right? So we have two separate layers instead of one single layer. So let me work on this part. Let me come to this part. Okay. All right. So I'll give this another layer. Can you see? I've given this part a layer. Then this part, I'll give this part a layer as well. But I want to make this deeper, right? Okay. I'll work on the color intensity. So I'll use the short key 11, that is shift F11, shift F11, and this pops up, right? So let me go to model to work on the color intensity. I want this part to be as deep as this. Okay, I think I like it this way. I prefer it this way, right? So I want to give this a touch as well. Let me give this part a touch as well. So I'll still make use of my shift 11, F11, right? It comes this way as well. And I'll come to this part, give something closer. Okay, yes. Can I work on this color as well? I think this is too dark. Shift F11. Okay, okay, yes, better this way. So I can delete this guy. I don't need it. Okay, that is that about that. Now the next thing is I want to work on this. Okay, we have even forgotten our sample. Let me take it to page. All right, this is cool, right? So let's work on this arrow. This arrow is too, the length of this arrow is too much. I want to reduce the length. So how do I do that? I'll go to my shadow tool, then I will highlight this like this. Okay, then I'll hold down my control key. I'll come to this part and I can reduce the length. I think it's okay this way. Okay, this is better. So I want to type in all of this CM graphics block 09, right? But if I do that, let me work on the color of this arrow. So let me just give this arrow color. Okay, I think it's this color here. Right. And I'll go to my interactive field tool. I'll work on this. Okay, I can actually work on this part. The level where I want the color to get to. This is cool. I think this is better. Yes, this is cool. Right. So let me work on this part as well. I want to work on that part as well. Pick my, let me click on this part and pick my interactive field tool so I can work on this part as well. Okay. Click this part. Okay, I think I prefer it this way. Now give this part a color. Let me drag it a bit. Okay, give this part a color. This part a color. I think it's this color. Yes, that is the color. That's the color. And I can, okay, this is cool. I want to give this part a color as well. So I will still make use of my freehand tool here. I mean, my interactive field tool. I'll click on this. Then I will be working on this part as well. So I'll come to this part, take it like this, drop it here, right? So I want to increase the level of the color below. Okay, let me drag this up a bit. Yes, I think it's okay this way. So I can give you this color as well. So this part, I'll give this part this color. Select the color, and you see that. So that is that about that. Okay. Okay. See, this is nice, right? So that is how that part is done. So the next thing is I want to work on this arrow. I want to type in all of this, right? So I'll go to my text tool. I'll start to type in all of this TM graphics. Okay, cap log TM graphics. Okay, that is that about that. I think I have another text below as well. Block 09. Block 09, right? 09. Okay, 09, right? So that arrow is giving an information. It's directing us to where we have our TM graphics, right? So we have it at what? Block 09. So I can now increase the size of this word, right? So I'll come to this part and I also increase the fonts. We have the fonts to be, I think it's Arrington. Font is actually Arrington. Arrington, yes. Enter. Yes, I think I guess right. But this part is in small letter. Okay. So all of these that we have in capital letter will be in small letter. Let me first increase the size. Okay, we have everything in small letter except the TM. Okay, graphics should be in small letter, right? I think I get that right. So I'll also work on the thickness of these words, right? So I'll come to this part here and I'll right click. So I'll be adding an outline. Take this to one pixel outline, okay? Then okay. Can you see it is darker now? I can bring this to this part. Okay, that is perfect. So I want to work on this block as well. So I think the font is, let me use this font. No, no, it's just a perfect font anyway. Okay, I think this font is okay. This font is okay. Then I'll give it a color red. Red, okay. I can take this part. Okay, I want to increase this. Okay, that's nice. Now this is what I'll be working on next. So let me increase the size. I think the size, and I'll check the font for this. So the font is, I think this font is what's it called? This should be agency. Agency. This agency. Do you have agency there? Yes, we should have AGE, right? Agency. Okay, fine. That was what we use. Then I can as well increase the thickness of this as well. Let me go to the, okay. Okay, I think this is nice, right? So I'll bring this to this part. We have it here. Okay, what else? Okay, we need to make this as well. This platform, right? The base. That is this what's it called? This rectangle shape where we have it on. So we need to make that part too. So we just come to our rectangle tool, then we'll drag it over this design like this. Okay, so this color, we'll be selecting that color. I think this is the color, right? Just click on this. Then I need to take this to the back. I need to take it below the design, right? So you just hold your shift key, then click on page down. So you have it this way, simple, right? That is simple. Let me now adjust it properly. Okay, and we are good to go. So we can delete this guy now. We don't need this again. So we have come to the end of our design, but before, I think there's one more thing to do. I want to remove the outline of these shapes. If you look at this shape very well, there's an outline there. So let me take this off first. I want to highlight everything all together. Okay, for me to remove the outline, let me highlight it one more time. Okay, for me to remove the outline, I'll come to this part here, then I will right click. Can you see all of those outlines have been what removed? For this part, I want to give this part an outline so that we'll be able to see the arrow head, right? So let me do that. Sorry, that's a mistake. So I want to change the outline. I want to give it an outline. This part, the arrow. I'll give this arrow an outline. So I just come to this part here. All right, I will click on it twice. I'll double click on it. Then I will increase the picture for the outline black. And that is that. Okay. Can you see that part as an outline? So to make the arrowhead what visible, since we didn't give it a particular color. So this is cool. This is nice. I think that is all about that. Then I can now bring in this. But before I do that, let me quickly group all of this and make it a single entity. Okay, so Control G, or you right click and select group, right? So instead that you use the short key Control G, or you right click and select group. So that is that about that. We are done with that. So I can bring in this. Okay, okay. But this part is so blended with this, right? So I want to change the color of this. I want to change it to another color. I don't want that color, so that it won't be that. So let's see what if we use black. Wow, I think this is cool. Instead of just using that color, it makes this work so easy. Let's try on that color, please. Okay, let's see this color. What about this? No, no for me. Or rather, let me search for another color. Okay, I think I prefer this. So this is the dark color, and I can work on the intensity of this color. So shift F11. Okay, so I'll go to model. So I can bring this to dark, right? Okay, so we are done with that. So we have come to the end of this class. Thanks for watching, and try as much as possible to subscribe to our YouTube channel and put on the notification button, so whenever we drop videos like this, you'll be notified on time. Thanks for watching.